Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Africa is a continent whose rich history and culture is being projected to the world by its active youth. From music to arts, young Nigerians are taking control of the narrative and using their talents to showcase Africa to the world. Coming from not one, but two royal families, Adetomiwa A Gbadebo is a visual artist who is using his rich heritage and life experiences to create pieces based on emotions and life experiences. Welcome to the show, Adetomiwa.
Welcome to the show.
Or should we say your Royal Highness?
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
Sorry,
two royal families.
Yeah. How do you get so lucky?
Exactly.
I wouldn't say lucky. I would just say it's just, you know, where God placed me.
Right.
But those are just symbols, but that's not what makes me. Yes.
Okay, it's going to be a deep
conversation. It's very, very, very deep. Now, your art has a lot of spiritual context. How would you describe the state you are in when you're producing it, when you're creating your pieces?
In a way, in a unconscious sort of like, I would say, spiritual state of mind when I create. So once when I'm in the process of creating, I do not actually know what the outcome is going to be. So I let destiny takes its toll. So basically, allowing myself to create, knowing that the end result is destiny. It's where it's going to be. So is the future already decided for me, but I'm just creating in that process.
And there's something about like a spiritual trance when you're creating.
Yes.
So do you, when I think trance, I just think,
like, oh no, like,
so do you just become oblivious to everything around you? Like,
not the kind of trances you see in some of the churches.
Oh,
no,
okay.
none of those, none of those.
I respect those trances.
Okay,
yeah. Yes, I respect it though as
Let's
well.
just put that out there. I respect the
I
trances
respect it as well.
There's
There's spiritual, there's different forms of trances, I believe.
Yes.
Okay.
For me, is not the ability to overthink something. Is to let go of things, to let go of any bad, positive energy, basically a neutral state of mind. You know.
Is it almost close to meditating?
Yes, in this way, yes.
Right, so, okay, so it's like a meditating. And
Yes, I don't close my eyes.
Okay, sorry.
What do your family think about this, though? Is this in line with, you know, because,
yes,
are they
well, I'll say my family are into art, they collect.
Okay.
So my mother and father are huge supporters, especially my father, you know. And throughout history, you know, kings have, you know, sponsored art within the kingdoms.
Right.
So it's been there in the culture already.
Okay.
So in the modern sense, of course, most parents will want their children to be doctors or lawyers or whatnot, but my path is my path, and that's where God is leading me to.
Okay, let's talk about the art industry.
Yes.
Now, you consult for galleries in America, and...
Yeah, I just started doing that,
Oh, wow, congratulations then. I thought it was something you'd been doing for a long time.
Yes.
So you just started consulting for galleries in the States. What would you say is the major difference between our industry here and that of the States?
I would say the industry in Nigeria caters to Black artists, of course. We're in, you know, the heart of it. But in the States, we don't see a lot of minority artists, especially Black artists, succeed as their white counterparts.
Right.
So for me, my business is to bridge that gap, okay? To allow those in the States to be able to show in Nigeria as well, to actually remove the emphasis on diaspora, because I feel like it actually creates a barrier and lack of communication. It puts a wedge between the bridge. I'm trying to construct a bridge with this, and sort of put forth African artists in a platform where they're able to be as great economically as their white counterpart overseas.
So wow, it sounds like, you know, it's probably to do with racism and all those things, you know, from history, why it's also trickled down into art. Because art is art. It's not about the person that painted it. It's art. So how bizarre is it that this is also in that sector as well?
It is. It's human beings that run the government, that run the art industry, the music. So we're all human beings. So it's not like an alien or something came from heaven. So where there are human beings, there are bound to be disparity in some ways.
Right.
And not everybody is racist in the United States. I'll just clarify that. And not everybody is racist in Nigeria either against the US. But I'm trying to create a platform for my people, Nigerians or Africans in general, to converse with those who are in the diaspora.
Right.
You know, to understand that in working together, you can create a robust art world without even going to the West for assistance, Western galleries.
Yeah.
Those are fine if they do that because it's a global market. Pride in their own sense, in their own country, in who they are.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like Stephanie said, art is art, and art should be appreciated regardless of who the hand that drew the art is or painted the art is. But let's talk about your work. Now you're in Ethan Cohen Gallery in New York.
Yes, and with Pearl Lam in Hong Kong.
Wow, well done.
Yes.
I mean, how was it? How did you penetrate that market? We're just talking about how difficult it is for Black artists to get recognition. You're not just Black, you're like African, like Yoruba.
Extra Black.
Exactly, you're like extra Black.
And also, you're very you're even outspoken.
The way you
in
dress.
You're very
Yes. So how how did you push through that market to get into a gallery like that, or to get into 2 galleries like that?
For me, it was patience, and I felt it was right for me to get my work out globally. You see, it's not necessarily finding the galleries that is important. It is knowing yourself as an artist and where you stand, and knowing that this is you, and now I'm ready to share with the world. You have to understand yourself before you go out there. There's a lot of artists that just go out there without understanding who they are, and they fail at it. So a lot of it is patience, prayer, and also aggressiveness. If I want something, I go after it. And I do immense research on the art market, as well as what galleries will accept what.
And you're both the artist and the businessman.
Yes.
Do you feel conflicted when producing and you ask yourself if it's commercially viable?
No, not at all, because I cater to no commercial realm. I make my art. It's either you accept it or you don't.
So you're not trying to conform to what society wants right now, what's trending, what, what buyers are looking for?
Trust me, that's not my style. People that know me know it's not my style.
Wow, that's commendable.
So it is more so I make my art, and there are those that love. See, the art is one thing, the individual is another. You see, people are in love with the art, but most of all, the individual, because those are the individuals that create the art.
Yeah.
So that's more important to me. I feel like if you're buying my art, you're buying part of me. You're part of my present state and constant state to come.
So much depth. But let's talk about your work with Tony Allen. Honestly, is it obvious that I'm like looking at you and I'm impressed by your work and everything that you've done? So how did you meet Tony Allen? How did that relationship start?
The thing is that I'm a big fan of Afrobeat music. It came from Nigeria. I'm a very heavy supporter of Nigerian music, and he was the co-founder of Afrobeat. And knowing the history between him and Fela is no longer alive, so that's the second closest to him. Yeah. And for me, I'm a big history buff. And for me, I feel like if I were to perform with musicians, it has to be something worth doing. And I wanted to do it with a pioneer. To me, it's in a way adding and giving back to my own people. I could have performed with anybody. There's so many musicians in this world. Yeah. But I chose him.
Right.
Yes.
And we have a clip of that. Let's take a look at it so we can hear your sound.
It's been a long time ago I did that. I was a little bit younger.
So this is like a throwback for you.
Yes.
Flashback Friday.
Brother, 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 only she o. She o di o fe she o. ṣeun tí o fẹ́ ṣe o. Ṣeun tí o fẹ́ ṣe o e. Ṣeun tí o fẹ́ ṣe o. Ṣeun tí o fẹ́ ṣe o e. Ṣeun tí o fẹ́ ṣe o. Ṣeun tí o fẹ́ ṣe o e. Ṣeun tí o fẹ́ ṣe o. Lásìkò. Lásìkò. Lásìkò.
Wow,
Nice.
amazing.
So were you drawing to what he was singing?
Yeah.
Yes, I was painting to what he was singing.
Okay. You didn't do any singing?
No. I actually did a similar thing recently, a few years back, about 2 years ago with Sean Kuti.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
You really do love Fela.
Yeah, right up
Yes.
your alley.
Yes.
Fantastic. Well, you're off to Volta. Are you off to New York for Volta on
Yes,
March 7th?
March 7th,
Yep.
yes.
What other exhibitions can we see you at?
Well, I have a solo exhibition that's coming up in Florence, Italy. This is my 3rd exhibition there at Catravetra Gallery in Florence.
Okay,
Yes.
you are a global citizen. Like, you're not even limiting yourself at all, and that's amazing. How can people contact you? Those who want to say, we love your work, we love you, we want to work with you.
And maybe buy art?
Buy your art.
Instagram me or message me on my email.
Okay.
Yes, that's
What's your Instagram handle?
at SANGOA.
Amazing.
SANGOA.
So that's Shango A.
Yes. Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
All right, thank you. And we're heading for another short break now, but don't change that channel because when we return, entertainment entrepreneur Chin Okeke will be here discussing the growth in the Nigerian entertainment scene, on the Nigerian entertainment scene, and how we can control our narratives. Stay with us.